no is right. Hi, I'm Carl Schoening, Director of Broadcasting with SHN Sports, and we never want our broadcast to look like that. Unfortunately, our wireless transmitters were not able to handle some high interference frequencies coming from, my belief, a machine used at the baseball field to track important advanced statistics such as baseball spin rate off of the pitcher's hand, launch angle off of the bat, etc. There was such a high frequency given off from this machine that I believe it made some of these sub $1,000 wireless transmitters we use at SHN Sports that we already are pushing beyond their limits of their intended use, which is usually to be kind of like directors used in scenes for films. They basically were just not able to combat this high interference frequency. So we had to look into investing even more money into wireless transmitters. And there to save the day was a used CVW BeamLink-Duo. New, these retail at $3,500, and so far online I've only been able to find them special order, but I was able to find one used. It got to me within a week, and it saved my contract, I believe, with Southwestern Baseball. They weren't really, they didn't seem too mad about that, but they wanted me to figure out the situation, and I did, using this CVW BeamLink-Duo, which is a 2 wireless transmitter system to 1 receiver. So in this particular instance at the beginning of this video where the transmitters weren't working, we were using 1 transmitter to 1 receiver wireless transmission systems. However, in this particular case, we invested a little bit more money into something that was a 2 transmitter to 1 receiver system. And I thought that was really good because really when it comes down to it, we want things to be simple and work, right? And that's what the CVW BeamLink-Duo is. It's simple and it works. If you've ever used a wireless transmitter, it's pretty much exactly like that. There's actually some really cool features that are not on your typical sub $1,000 wireless transmitters, such as tally lights or streaming over IP, which are both really cool, but not applications that I'm going to be going over in this review, nor have I used yet. So, maybe one day I check it out, but they were not necessarily applicable to my situation. So what I will be talking about in this video is how I use the CVW BeamLink-Duo, some things that I had issues with, and do I recommend it? And I'll cut you some time there at the end. I absolutely recommend it. All the issues that we had are very small and fixable things, and I'll explain them as we go.
The BeamLink-Duo comes with this nice and compact carrying case. There are 2 layers. On the top layer, it has the 2 transmitters and the receiver. Underneath it are all the things that you need to carry with it. Like most wireless transmission systems, the receiver and the transmitter both use antennas that are pretty easy to screw on. Just go ahead and give it a little twist to the right, and after that, all you got to do is flip on the power button once it's powered, either by the connecting to the AC power or an NFP battery. If you have a V-mount, it also accepts that as well through DTAP. Be sure to use a V-shape on the antennas so they can send the best signal out to the receivers, as well as receive the signal from the transmitter. It's recommended that you put your receiver about 6 feet above the ground to get best results. In this particular case, we had it outside our press box, and we used 12-foot HDMI cables to feed into our switcher, which is inside the press box. It also has SDI inputs and outputs on both the receivers and the transmitters, in case your camera has SDI. But we use HDMI outs as well as HDMI transmitters and switchers. We set up our wireless transmitters in 2 locations: the outfield center field wall camera, in which it was set up to be used for pitches most of the time, as well as down the third base line, where we could get a different angle of both the pitcher and first base. We also had an opportunity to use the BeamLink-Duo as a sideline camera during a football game in which we had the receiver inside and the camera and transmitter outside, and we thought that the results were great. The transmission was awesome. Even though there were a lot of fans in the stands, we still were able to get a clean image and were able to use the camera well. While most transmitters sub $1,000 are smaller, the BeamLink-Duo transmitters are still compact enough that they can fit onto our gimbal or tripod setups pretty easily without being in the way. The only reoccurring issue we had with the BeamLink-Duo are these grainy-like pixels that appeared. I have a few theories as to why, possibly because the signal was weak due to being almost 500 feet away. Maybe the image got stale due to the camera not capturing anything new, but it appears that the issue was solved when the camera gathers new information to transmit. This issue only happened on our unmanned center field camera. Had the camera had an operator changing the image more frequently, I'm sure this issue would be resolved. As you can see, when the new light frequency data introduced by the players moving into the stale image, it is fixed. This also could be the camera and the transmitter combination, but it isn't a deal breaker by any means, just annoying in the circumstance of an unmanned camera. Lastly, do I recommend the BeamLink-Duo? The answer is yes. While I can understand the price tag is a bit above most people's budgets for wireless transmitters, I believe the abilities to fight high frequencies and the convenience of one receiver for multiple transmitters makes this a great tool for live production. The BeamLink-Duo can be bought new for $3,500, and CVW also makes a 4-transmitter to 1 receiver set, the BeamLink Quad. That should be just as effective, but I haven't tested it out and costs $6,500 in the event you routinely need 4 wireless camera angles. That's it for this review of gear SHN Sports uses. We don't have an unlimited budget to try all kinds of products, but if you're curious how we do certain aspects of our broadcast, please leave a comment and we can respond or make another video for you.